Come in.
So guys, Star Trek, or should I say NuTrek? People call it NuTrek. I like to call it PPTrek. I think that's an original. I think I came up with that, but what do you think? NuTrek, PPTrek, Paramount Plus Trek, Alex Kurtzman Trek. I guess you could say Kurtzman Trek too, right? Kurtz Trek. But people for, 7, 8 years now, it's been around, going on 8 years, I believe. Discovery launched in 2018. So that's 7 years. We're getting close to 2026. So about 8 years, people have been talking about the wokeness of Star Trek, in name only. That's another one I am lately calling it in name only Trek. But the premise, as the artwork says, is it woke or a joke? Because all Star Trek's charges, all NuTrek's criticism is about it being woke. I contend that it's more just a joke. All right, full disclosure, revelation, if you guys don't know, I wrote for Next Generation, I wrote for Deep Space Nine, and I pitched extensively to Voyager. And so when I approach Star Trek, it's still, first and foremost, as a fan, it is. But then my writer's cap can come on, and I can look at it and say, wow, I would never construct a story like that. I would never write a line like that. And I think that's really sort of the crux, the core of a lot of the criticism. The idea that it's a joke, really. The woke aspects, representation, virtue signaling, on the old days, we'd call it tokenism, whatever. You want to represent, you want to put an X number of people or representation in, a minority group, a LGBT, you go down the line, check those boxes. Now, whether you agree with that or not, and I think most people could say they're a little tired of it or it's a little overboard. My main premise here is that this NuTrek, PPTrek, Kurtzman Trek is just a joke in many ways. They're barely seasons. Now that's streaming, the idea of it has 8, 10, 12, 14 episodes. You got to pay for it. It used to be free. And the stories are mostly serialized. They're mostly, arcs, large arcs, serial, it's a serial. And like a soap, you could say. And Deep Space Nine, and all Star Trek has toyed with that or done that. Deep Space Nine, the most prevalent and the most successful with the Dominion War. But today we've got these long, drawn-out arcs over seasons or shows, like, for example, Picard. And Picard is probably the most egregious example because it came from Next Generation, arguably one of the most, if not the most popular and successful Star Trek. Original series and Next Gen, they kind of tie. You could argue Next Gen had many more episodes, and old series, classic original series had, of course, the feature films, more feature films. And then a cartoon. We could go back and forth. The point is that right now we have an example of streaming drama, streaming television, which is a changed beast from the old days. And these stories, these episodes of this NuTrek, PPTrek, I think they're much more an example of a joke, of badly constructed stories and writing. And the woke aspect, of course, is there. You can't escape that. But I would submit, if you've got a TV show or film that is even slightly woke, but it's got really good stories and characters and it delivers, I don't think you might mind as much. So I think that's where we really are right now. We're at a point where new, fill in the blank, you could say new Star Wars, maybe even new MCU, Marvel, DC, now James Gunn, all these things that are being reborn, renewed, reimagined, rebooted. You've got to look at the quality first and foremost. The woke is there, sure. I mean, I think they very, admit it. They're very honest about, we're representing, we're, if you want to call it woke, whatever you want to call it. But where's the quality? Where are those large moments, those sort of thunderous moments back in the day, we could look and point to so many. Mirror, Mirror on the original Star Trek, City on the Edge of Forever, Next Generation, The Inner Light, at Yesterday's Enterprise, Best of Both Worlds. If you can point to those on Discovery, Picard, and these shows, have at it and, submit it, the comments, leave some comments and reply and tell us about it. But I think that the Woken joke, what's worse? I think the idea that it's a joke. This is a joke, and there's no. You can say it's a woke and it becomes a joke, but the quality of these shows, where are they? So what do you think? Give us your thoughts. Give us your feedback. Is it more woke, or is it more a joke, or is it both? Or tell us what you think. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're subscribing. See you soon.